Welcome to Biology 101. Biology is the study of life, and as far as I'm concerned, it is one of the most fascinating topics on this planet. In fact, when we think about something like biology, all kinds of stuff come to mind. In fact, Napoleon is one of the things that I think about. Not this dude here, it's this guy, Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, let's think for just a moment about what we're going to be examining with this course. Number one, we're going to look at the tremendous diversity of life. It's incredible. Life doesn't come in just one form, but many, many forms. They say there's like 10 million species of creatures on this planet. But also the amazing diversity that we see all around us, everywhere on this big blue planet. And if we think of some of the creatures, well, they're quite the motley crew. In fact, when we look here, we're seeing the animal kingdom, and many people think of that as biology, but it's so much more. Whether it's your mammals or your birds or your butterflies, they're all incredible. And we're going to tie this all together to all kinds of important aspects. First of all, when we think about what is the basic unit of life, what comes to mind? You should think of the cell. And the cell is incredible, because it's got all the cellular machinery, has all the specialized functions. In our bodies, they say we have 60 to 100 trillion of them, and there's about 200 different types. That's just the cell by itself. But the cells make up what? It makes up tissues. And there's 4 basic tissues that we find in our body. We'll examine those in a lot more detail. But wait, there's even more than that. When we think of the tissues are organized into organs. And each one of these organs are masterpieces of design. Now, if we stopped right there, we'd say, wow, that's pretty amazing, just looking at the structure of living organisms. But structure elicits function. The structure is there to do something. So think about cell division, one of my favorite things to talk about. When I was in school, the whole idea of how DNA duplicated, how cells duplicated was astounding. Oftentimes confusing. But you know, as we begin to examine it, I think you're going to see just the marvel of how it all works in mitosis and meiosis 1 and 2. Now, if that wasn't enough to talk about, there's also the systems of the body. One of my favorite is the immune system. When we think about the germs, the microbes, the cooties that we come in contact with all the time, they could lay us on our back or wipe us out altogether. But this immune system affects all the other systems of our body, and it keeps us alive and moving around. But if that wasn't all, we're also going to be looking at my favorite kingdom. Actually, this is the fun kingdom. You know why it's called fun? Because there's fun guys and fun gals associated with it. We'll have the plant kingdom to explore. How amazing is it that we can go from a single seed and it can turn into a mighty oak tree? And of course, my favorite of favorites is simply looking at the animal kingdom. When we look at the various creatures that are out there, each one you could get a PhD in and study it and just barely scrape the surface. So as we look at biology and we give you an introduction to some of the ideas that we're going to be connecting, the different dots that form this beautiful union known as life, you can see that there's going to be a lot on our plate. So strap yourself in. We're going to go for a fun ride as we begin to encounter the wonders of life all around us.